Alright, what's going on, guys? As you probably saw, I got a haircut, but more important than that, I got a new rod right here. I can't even show you it because it's a... I'll tell you about it. It is a 7'6" Lews flipping rod right there, heavy action. And why does that matter? It doesn't. But I wanted a new rod for throwing frogs and throwing heavier things and flipping, and that's what we got. So, I'm getting ready to go out for a walk and do a little bass fishing, just kind of mess around with this new rod. I'm going to put on a 50-pound Power Pro right there, and I'm going to be putting it on my Johnny Morris Signature Series reel right there. It has a 7-to-1 gear ratio. Should be good. I'm excited. I was wanting a longer rod for a long time, so I'm happy to finally have one. You know, the longest bait casting rod I had was a 7-foot, and it's hard fishing ponds with a short rod, you know, because you just don't get that distance to really cover a pond like you need to. You know, I was throwing a 7-foot rod, I can only cast my frogs or my topwaters, whatever I was throwing, I can only cast it probably 20 yards out. And I need a longer rod to really reach the further banks and cover more ground, because when you're in a boat, you know, to cover more ground, you can just move the boat and you fish, so it doesn't really matter. But when you're on shore, you know, if you want to cover more ground, you need to be able to make longer casts, and so that's when a longer rod comes in handy right here. So I'm going to line it up, get out in the woods, try to catch some fish this afternoon. Alright, I am running behind. It is about 6 o'clock right now. The sun sets in an hour, and I have about a 15-minute walk to my first spot to fish. Got a reel in my camera. So I gotta walk quick and hopefully get to the spot in time and get on some fish. We have arrived. Put my bag down, set the old tripod up, we'll get fishing. So, I was out here yesterday, and this is pretty much what happened. Oh my gosh! Oh my god. Oh, good one. That's a good fish right there. That's a decent fish right there. That's a nice chunk. Probably a pound and a half, maybe to 2. He ate it. He hit it once and then came back and devoured that plopper. That's very cool. So I decided to come back this afternoon because the bite was so good, and I wanted to get here a little earlier so I could throw some moving baits and stuff before the topwater bite, which it's already almost time. I'll probably have 5 to 10 minutes to throw. I'm gonna start off with a chatterbait right here, the big half-ounce chatterbait that actually is pretty sure for redfish, but we're gonna see if we can connect with some big bass on it. We have a big old trailer on it, and hopefully we'll connect with some fish. It's pretty windy, but we're kind of on the laid down side of the lake, and hopefully catch some big bass. Alright, so I tried throwing the chatterbait and it's just too much grass here. I'm gonna have to throw a topwater, honestly, to, I think, target these fish. It's about that time anyway, so I'm gonna cut the chatterbait off and tie on a Whopper plopper. Plopper's on, see if we can catch some fish on top. Oh, there's fish. That's a nice bass right there. Solid chunk. Alright, first fish on the new rod setup right there on the Whopper Plopper. He hit that pretty far out. I know you guys won't be able to see that, but he had a pretty awesome take on it. It's probably just a 1 pound fish, but he's very, very healthy. You see how fat his belly is right there? And the coloration on him is beautiful. He doesn't have really any parasites on him. That is a beautiful bass. Gonna get him back in the water. Hopefully we can get another one. Hopefully, you know, the goal, I would like to catch a fish maybe around 3 pounds. I think that's reasonable for a pond like this. And a nice small lure. So that's the goal right now, hopefully. He's not very big. My GoPro literally just died right when probably 5 seconds before I hooked this fish right here. He's hooked through the, you can probably barely see that, but he's hooked through the outside in, strangely enough. About the same size fish, but he's a little chunkier. You see how fat these fish are? That's just insane. They're just so healthy here. It's awesome to see. That's a beautiful fish. Let's get him released. This is like the one most frustrating thing about throwing these Whopper Ploppers. You better be prepared to be digging grass off your hooks the whole entire time if you're throwing near a grassy area. What's unfortunate though is, you know, a frog would be the ideal thing to throw right now, but I tried throwing it and they didn't want to eat it. So we're staying with the Whopper Plopper because that's what they're going to eat. But sometimes you gotta deal with some inconvenience if that's what it means to catch fish, you know? There we go. Fish number 3 right there. I'd say he might be a little bigger than the last two. Alright, third fish of the night right there. He's probably about the same size as the last one I just caught. A very, very fat fish. All these have been so extremely fat, and it looks like they might be feeding on a school of bait fish out in the middle of this pond. So we're just going to keep cranking it out there, and hopefully get some more. It's kind of weird. He has like a lump on his tail right there. You see that? How it has upraised right there? Interesting. We'll get him back. Alright, I'm running out of light here, but I was walking down that side of the pond trying to throw, and I didn't get any bites, and I was about to start my walk back, and I look over and I see bass still flipping over here where I was already fishing and catching them. So I ran back over, I tied on a new bait. It's just a weightless swim bait right there. Just kind of a chartreuse swim bait, and we're just going to throw it and just work it really fast across the top of the water like a buzz frog almost. Bass hitting right behind me, and hopefully they'll strike this. Alright, hopefully I can pull it off this island right here because I'm pretty much almost out of time. I just want to catch one more fish. Ooh! One swung, but he missed. One tried to eat it twice, and missed both. Alright, as much as I'd like to stay, I got about a 2-mile walk back to my car, and it's pretty much already completely dark out, so I gotta get moving here. But that was a ton of fun, honestly. I only had an hour and like 15 minutes to fish, and it takes me like 20 minutes to walk out here. But I had a lot of fun catching 3 solid fish, busting in a new rod. new line. Always good times catching some nice, healthy largemouth. That is it for tonight. See you guys tomorrow, or whenever I upload the next video. I appreciate you guys. Peace.